Out loud.
In the words of Bone Thugs and Harmony, which is appropriate since we got our main man Germ in the building from Cleveland area. It's the first of the month. Wake up,
Out
wake
50.
up. It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. And this is 94 Feet of Life playoff review show. Trav in the building. Jay Ham, the historian. Remember, I'm gonna plug this. I'm gonna have him plug it again. Fridays, 98.5, 98.6. If you got a thermometer and you don't have a fever, you should
I
be
got
able to
I got
find
you,
the
Big Shot.
radio.
I got you, Big Shot. 98.5 FM. Sports 56, 98.5 FM here in
That's
Memphis.
right. Friday afternoon.
The
It's
happy
a
hour.
90. It's a
We're
it's a
gonna have
it's a it's a views from the 22. I'm not gonna call it a takeover, but I just said we have a strong presence on that show on Friday afternoons, to say the least. Germ so true in the building. Hey, I'm gonna just start it like this. Now y'all know how we do free flowing conversation. We ain't got debate topics. We don't do like the hot take jive. For everybody who said it's too many threes, they don't play defense. It's not physical. It's too nice. These first 2 weeks have been anything but that. It has been physical. It has been chippy. It's been defense play, low scores, everything that people love about the game or say they love about it. So, fellas, where do y'all want to start? Because we could just go off the top of the dome and just flow with this. So, Trav Ham, you whoever want to just throw out the first shot.
What do y'all want? People, what do y'all want? In the regular season, y'all said all the stuff it was too much. Nobody's watching it. Now it's getting to where y'all want it to be. Now y'all say it ain't no hoop. At this point, man, this is the NBA playoffs for a reason. This is why you like the game at this point. To be honest, we talked about this not too long. Ham brought the question up off in the group. At this point, what can we change? Y'all wanna change, y'all wanna shorten the season? Y'all still ain't gonna watch it until the playoff. And then when the playoffs roll around and they get and that free flowing that y'all was seeing in the season not happening, y'all still gonna complain just like you complaining right now. You gonna do it right now. That
So,
ain't gonna work. I mean,
Trav,
me person, yeah,
you know what I think they want?
they need
They
Jesus.
want
That's what they don't. They
somehow
don't
from
want. They need Jesus.
what they want is they want for Michael Jordan, RIPB, for Kobe Bryant, and for LeBron James to all be on the court and in their prime at the same time, so we can settle this debate once and for all. Who is the best player ever?
we need to
Again,
go buy
John.
a fucking copy of 2K then.
They
Right?
exactly
That's just,
get a copy of
that's
2K
as
because
close as
and
we're
run
gonna get.
simulation.
because at this point, you can't. All we do is we take shots and disrespect the game and the growth of the game in each one of these conversations. We're not doing anything different. Well, we're having the same conversations. The conversations have become redundant. I don't know how you can have the same conversation every day. Who is the best player in the world every day and not get bored eventually? I'm bored.
I, I,
Let's
I
talk about something
wonder.
new.
I wonder how you just don't like it because of if you just watch the game.
Because they
This is
don't know how to
being
watch. Because they don't know how to watch the
if
game. That's the
if this
problem.
if this these first 2 weeks have been as exciting, as entertaining a game as a first round has been in a long time.
You want,
Like you look
how we
at
can validate that?
go,
You know how we validate that? How they like to validate that rep with the ratings. The ratings on the ESPN playoffs for the, from just on ESPN for the NBA playoffs this year are like all time high.
yep.
They've never touched what they're touching right now, especially the first weekend and really just through that first, really the week and first week and a half, almost 2 weeks that we get now. Which Trav alluded to this earlier, and we're gonna have a longer discussion about this as we move along. What's the point of playing 82 games anymore?
Yeah.
Like, give me
Mm-hmm.
something other than well, everybody else did. Everybody else used to do a lot of other outdated shit that don't necessarily work no more. You have to evolve, and that's what we get. So it's like if we go down to 65 or the numbers we threw around in our group chat, 50, whatever we was talking about, we're gonna get a much more competitive regular season because everything the marathon has been short. So now you don't have as much load management time for that. You got less flack, less fluff, less bullshit to go
Yeah.
through the. You got a more competitive balance, and you'll get a more competitive game. It looks like guys are playing defense and they're trying and all. It looks better when they don't have 4 games and 5 nights. And because they did it in the previous era, that don't really mean shit going forward. Because see, what those dudes in the previous era did do that these dudes that are active today did, they weren't playing over 1,000 games or whatever the plus just to get to the league. They
Right.
weren't playing AAU games. And some of these dudes that are below Friday, they didn't even have AAU. They weren't playing AAU like that. AAU wasn't like always like travel ball, wasn't always accessible back in those times like that. You know what I'm saying? So it came at a premium. So the mileage on the body are different. So it's a need for load management. And if you want to like kind of pull that back together, again, what's the point of playing 82 games?
We're gonna definitely have that conversation in the off season, sort of a bigger picture topic. But let's get back to the current day in the playoffs. We could just kind of go through series by series and just quick hit it. I'll start with Boston, Orlando. Boston wins the series 4-1. But that 4-1 does not indicate how good a series it actually was. Orlando Orlando is just missing shooting. They just don't shoot the ball well enough to stay in a series with Boston.
Mm-hmm.
But they fought. It was competitive. I thought Orlando did a great job defending Boston's 3-point.
The
I don't
perimeter.
think
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that myself, Big Shot.
Boston didn't shoot them out of the gym.
Right.
Tough series, 4-1. And then you had, listen, and got Travis and Jay, me, Trav, Jay Ham, we remember what 90s playoff series were like. Indiana, Milwaukee was that was ill-tempered. That was 1996 playoff game. And just because it's not the names and the big names, that was one of my first points. They're too nice. Indiana and Milwaukee was not too nice.
No, sir.
That's two teams who have I'm never gonna compare something to the 90s, but that's a real dislike. And J Ham, Trav, Jerm, y'all can step in, but I enjoyed it. Even though Milwaukee, I thought was never gonna win the series. The competitiveness, the feistiness, just everything about it, and then maybe one of the great playoff series enders we will ever see with how that series ended.
Big Shot. I think I wanted Milwaukee to fight a little longer. Wish they had a shot. Gary
Had
Trent Jr. showed his ass off in that overtime, but he also showed his ass off with his hands. Jern, you the football guy. Two things important in football. What is it? Your hands and your feet. It's the same thing in basketball also. If you don't have the hands to hold the ball, you don't need it. He bloopered twice in the most crucial situations. And they made him pay. They made them pay. Overall, like I said, the nastiness of that series, the feistiness of it and everything. You like the 90s basketball, that was the one you're supposed to watch right there. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, man. Call Tyrese Halliburton all you want, but you got to call him a winner of the first round series too. Make sure you put that on his name.
And Tyrese had his Reggie Miller moment. Like that's the moment that if you are a Pacers fan, a younger Pacers fan who wasn't there for Reggie, that's what that was like. That was the Reggie Miller moment for Tyrese.
Tyrese is growing up, as an NBA player before our eyes as a leader too.
Yeah.
Some of the things that he's doing just on the floor from that perspective are incredible. But the biggest thing for that team in general that I really enjoyed about that series was I just enjoyed how they did everything they could, knowing they couldn't stop Giannis, and they made him stay true to the game. They made him keep his pedal onto the floor. They made him continue to work. I mean, Giannis worked really hard in that series for those points. And even though he got what he got, he worked. So shout out to Siakam and Miles Turner. Like them boys, they play hard. And one other thing to your point, big shot about Orlando. What I loved about Orlando is Orlando knew that they were outmatched, but you couldn't tell from the way they competed.
They didn't quit.
Every single night they defended. Every single night they gave everything they had. So you said 3-point shooting. I think if you don't add 3-point shooting, what you need to do is you need to have somebody else who can create a shot. A third player that can create a shot.
If you're not going to shoot it well, what I think Orlando really needs, number one, is they need Jalen Suggs healthy. I think he is sort of the spirit of that team. He's not the purest of point guard, but he can get you into your offense. But Jerm, to your point, what I loved about Orlando is that we're not going to try to play a way that we can't play. We do not shoot the three ball well. We're not going to go out there with Boston and shoot 33 because we don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go out the way we play. Going back to Indiana, and I will say this. Indiana, Cleveland. This is another test. Ham talked about the ratings. And I'm going to go to Ham to this one. We said this in 94. Do you like names or do you like ball? Take the names and the city off of it. I think Cleveland and Indiana is going to be an absolute war. I think Indiana matches up well with Cleveland. Indiana got the firepower. I'll be shocked if that series goes less than 6. I would be really surprised.
I agree with that. And it's funny that like we mentioned the names because it's like it's 3 All-Stars in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Defensive player of the year, and you got your backcourt, those dudes, how they get down. And they're not they're stars, they're not superstars. It's like Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, they look like you'll find them in any local mall, just kicking it. You know what I'm saying? They may have Ty Jerome with them. DeAndre Hall, that's just they real simple, laid back dudes. They hit your shit and they come to the mall. They go get some Chick-fil-A or whatever. They just And Indiana's kind of the same way. Big Shot, me and you was laughing about that. We was like the Pacers are like that private school that nobody don't like.
Yeah.
You know, because they annoying, but it's like they ain't no punks either though. They ain't gonna
Mhm.
bag down. You don't really want to run up on like Ben Matthews, Aaron Naismith, Obi Toppin. You don't really want, it's like they ain't no necessarily professed tough guys, but you don't necessarily want that smoke either.
Jerm, I'm gonna go to you real quick, but you know what? It's so it's so ironic that the Reggie Miller all the smoke interview came out like last week.
Mhm.
The Pacers remind me of Reggie Miller, as Ham said. They look tame. They look like, oh, these ain't the toughest dudes in the world, but they're not gonna back down. And Reggie Miller talking about his two fights with Jordan and Kobe. Like Reggie fought them two because he is annoying. He is gonna get under your skin, but he can also hoop. And that's the Pacers. The Pacers, and that's why I think they go. Cleveland is in for a fight with them in round two. I don't, I still like Cleveland to win this series, but don't be surprised if we sit here like in 2 weeks, like man, Indiana and Cleveland going to Game 7 on a Sunday afternoon. Do
Mhm.
not be surprised at all.
I really like this matchup from the perspective of everything that we should see in this matchup from the pace of the game. Both of these teams like to run. Evan Mobley versus Pascal Siakam. I think that's the matchup of the series that we gonna have a lot of fun with talking about in that. Jared Allen and Miles Turner, very, very similar in what they do for their ball clubs. The work pail lunch guys who gonna block shots, defend, and probably get you 10, 12 points. Um, then it gets really interesting though, because the key to this series is McConnell versus Ty Jerome off the bench.
Right.
One is a
Yeah.
better 3-point shooter, high screen and roll guy. The other one is the mid range high screen and roll guy that's just going to get everybody in the right position and everything else.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's so much contrast in this series that's similar that we should get games that should come down to who turns the ball over late, who's more prepared, who's going to play harder. Not about who has the best players, because the pace of the game is going to already dictate so much
Yeah.
in this series.
Yeah. The pace of the game is, I think it's going to be up tempo. It's going to be quick, a lot of threes, but it's going to be tightly contested. Now, as we're taping this, the Knicks and the Pistons are currently playing their game 6. So, what I will say about this series that's still going on, Detroit, Detroit is one more. They got another perimeter player away. And Jerm talked about somebody who can get their own. Detroit needs one more. They need a compliment to Cade.
God, they
But
need.
I will say this with Azure. So I get them mixed up with Azure and Orlando Roars Jr., aka Jalen Duran.
They Linder.
And then we know what Cade is. I love what I. That's a team. That's a team who's going to be trouble for the rest of the East for a couple years. And they play tough. They like this. They like their city. They like Detroit. They tough. They grimy. They're physical. They're in your face.
And their
Yeah.
best player don't have to try to take over the game. They let the game come to them. And the way Cade plays ball is why the Pistons are so tough. That's why the second player that they bring in, Big Shot, to your point, it got to be the right guy who
Yeah.
does not take the ball out of that man's
No.
hands.
Yeah. You keep the ball in Cade's hand. He's special. I think we've seen him in the series. They sometimes they do young stuff.
Mm-hmm.
which is what you expect from an inexperienced team. They're going to do young stuff. But I love it. And to the Knicks' credit, and I'll go to Jay Ham on this one, and to the Knicks' credit, we have a lot of fun with Matthew Gord and our fellow Knicks and some Knicks fans in the group. I will say this for the Knicks. They have made every big play when it's been needed to be made, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's a stop, whether it's Brunson or Cat hitting a timely, tough bucket. Like Cat and Brunson are hitting shots that, as Chuck Barkley said, you just got to shake his hand. You shake his hand. That is a tough bucket. So Ham, we have our fun with the Knicks, but hey, they have stood up when they've been needed to make a play, they've made it.
They've been the veteran crew of the series. It's like when they made plays, it's like we see where Detroit still has it growing up as a crew, but Detroit ain't back down. You know what I'm saying? They still in the fight. I I'm not gonna say I'm surprised that we're here tonight because I kind of expected that, but after the way game four is, they normally can like emotionally and mentally deflate, anybody. A missed call like that, the game in the balance, it's tough, you know what I'm saying, to just kind of really mentally check back in, go on the road, no doubt,
Mm-hmm.
to the hostile environment and get the job done and come up out of it. And this is why we're here tonight. Then they currently are down, but they in the fight though. They, as we know, they don't go away. This is one of those series where there's no blowout, with the exception of the game one, the 21-1 run in game one. Everything is pretty much been tight in that phone booth. They've been in the phone booth pretty much for the first 5.5 games now. They're in game six and pushing toward the half.
Now we move out west, and I put a post in the group with a picture of Jason Tatum and Jamal Murray. And I said, are there any two guys? These are two younger guys still. I think both of them are under 28, still 26, 27 years old. And they got playoff resumes right now that stack up with some of your great players that have played. And Jamal Murray, when it was needed, game 5, 2-2, and we really needed, delivers a 43-point bomb on the Clippers. And now Jamal Murray is the all-time leader in 40-point games in Nuggets playoff history at this young age. In a franchise that's had Jokic, that's had Carmelo, that's had David Thompson, that's had Alex English. He's the all-time leader in 40-point games in the playoffs.
You got to remember too, in that bubble playoff run where he snapped, just him and Donovan Mitchell had that all-time classic Western shootout duel.
Yeah.
But and his finals run was a great run. That he had a great run in that playoff as well. So, and never been to an All-Star game.
Yeah.
He still is not.
Our good homie Jeff Hallman put this question in that poll, and I thought that's a damn good question. He said, he said, how many players make the Hall of Fame with no All-Star game?
I don't think there is.
Off the top, I couldn't think of it.
I can't think of now.
But Murray is on the trajectory with the way he's played in these postseasons.
Mm-hmm.
He's up there. I think for the Clippers really is make or miss.
That's all.
When you make shots, they've won games. That's the difference. It's 3-2. They've lost 3 games off 3 cold nights on the perimeter.
Yeah.
About as simple as you can make it.
Three cold nights and a box out.
Yep.
So with that being said, too, shouts out to Russ. That's Russell Westbrook. He has knocked down timely threes, made the big plays in these games as well, to go along with, as Kevin Harlan calls Jamal Murray, a flamethrower.
That's cookout.
I ain't
That's
never.
cookout, but I want that cookout
Huh?
girl, but I want to add. He paid all the Trav fines for all the threes that he shot. You know, Trav
No,
gonna
he's
charge
still
the
paying
fine for
fines
all
now.
threes.
He can't. His fine is too deep. His fine is too deep with us. It's time. We actually got one more that's going to start paying fines, and that's Franz Wagner. He finna be paying fines too. He has no business shoot threes.
That
He has
man,
no
Yeah.
business shoot threes.
But with that being said, Trav, you hell, man. Um, listen, the neighborhoods that he's building is helping the community. With everything that's going on right now, though, what I really like about this series, big shot to your point as well, it's really evenly matched in so many areas. Again,
Mhm.
this is a classic 4-5 matchup.
Yeah.
It's not a team that's definitively better than the other. It's a matchup or two you exploit. Of course, there's no answer on the floor for Jokic, but neither is it for Kawhi. So whoever
Yeah.
shows up, we haven't got the game where we showed up where the top three from each team shows up and everybody makes shots just to determine who is, as they say, the better team.
You
Yeah.
know, John. You say Russell Westbrook for the Denver Nuggets. I really think James Harden is the freaking X of the Clippers. He have to have a Houston game.
Yeah.
He got to have a
Does.
Houston game. A Houston game has to come soon. It has to come. One of them Houston versus San Antonio game, them Houston versus Golden State game when he goes berserk like 46-16. He gotta have one of them games. He has to. In order for the Clippers to put a nail in the coffin in this, he gotta have two of those. One of them better be tonight.
Yeah. He's
One of them better be tonight.
he has to, you know, I don't, Ham calls it don't have to be comic book basketball, but he's got to really put his fingerprints on the game. And he hasn't done it yet. I think one of the issues I've seen with the Clippers is they get bogged. They sometimes forget that they got Kawhi. Kawhi don't get enough touches at times for me. Like they'll go 2-3 minutes with no Kawhi, and I think Kawhi Harden gotta get it going.
I
Big
said,
shot to your point on that, real quick too. Just
yeah.
throw this in there. I don't know why every time that they catch Jamal Murray on Kawhi off of a switch that they don't immediately just do a post
Yeah,
entry.
it should be an immediate post up every
James,
time.
Scratch whatever it is you're doing. Number two got to get the ball. Period. It's nothing else that needs to be said. See, but this is also something else too. And this is not to criticize Ty Lue. He's a championship coach. He's a great coach. But some of the players that he has in his rotation sometimes are always messing with the church's money. They always got their hands in the collection plate.
Yeah,
Take your hands out the collection plate and get it to the come on, man. Get the ball to the man who's supposed to be collecting the change.
yeah.
Please.
Man, I said this in a group. Joker has the best numbers. Bar none. Kawhi Leonard's the best player on that freaking floor.
Not close. And I'm with you.
He's
I have
the
to tell you.
best player on that floor. If Kawhi Leonard is healthy, which he is, he's the best player on that floor. I ain't never seen. It's two players playing playoff series right now. When they get the ball, they're bigger, stronger, and faster than everybody they match up against. That's Cade Cunningham and Kawhi Leonard. Aaron Gordon, he make Aaron Gordon look like a little boy. Aaron Gordon is a big guy. But he still put him on the block like he's a little boy. He put anybody over there and he gonna fade away jumper. It's gonna go flat and it's gonna go all net.
The difference is Denver don't forget about who their best player is. That ball go to 15 every time.
And that's the
Every
difference.
time down the floor. I can
He-
promise you. You
He
could
putting
probably
a hand on the ball.
You
He
can-
touching the
Denver
ball.
got that real pretty girlfriend that they don't forget to make sure that they hug her and make sure that they corral her in public. That's just what it is.
You
he
got to
get every
acknowledge
time.
it.
He don't
Exactly.
forget.
And Kawhi Leonard is the fine chick that you like her, but you don't really like her all the time, and you don't be wanting to always hold her hand in public. You got to get out of that because somebody gonna take your girl.
Exactly.
Man, boy.
Now, we go to the other series that's still in play. I'll say this. We are taping this right now. Houston is up 3-2. I mean, Golden State is up 3-2. But in my young Jeezy voice, I tell you what. If Houston can find a way to win this on Friday night, Game 6, put this on tape. They blow Golden State out the water on Sunday in Game 7. Because when you're up 3-1, if you blow the chances in 5 and 6 to close it, and that thing goes to a Game 7 on the road, ask the Clippers what happened to them when they were up 3-1 on the Rockets and didn't close the opportunity they had in Game 6 at home. What happened in Game 7?
It's a long Sunday afternoon on ABC.
Houston is like, listen, we absolutely will thug it out with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. We know Steph Curry's thumb is messed up. We gonna slap it. We are absolutely going to grab and hit that thumb as many times as we can. Yes, we are. Steven Adams, Dylan Brooks, yep. That screen, they get a little extra on it. Yeah, we're going to put a little bit of extra on that screen. I love the way Houston plays. I don't care nothing about the Draymond and complaint. No. Yep, they going after the thumb. What you going to do about it?
Sengun, man.
What you gonna do?
Sengun, man.
I mean,
Hey, Sengun got a Daniel Boone, Trav. He got a Daniel Boone too. He got the Daniel Boone.
You got one who look like Lotto from 8 Mile, so you know what I'm saying. You know, it's like he got this superhero energy already. But nah, they've been locked into the phone booth too, but at a different variety because even with the blowouts and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Folks get that. Even that fight when it was like 20 or whatever, it got real chippy for a minute. You know what I'm saying?
It did.
That's what I'm doing, man. Go back to San Francisco, man. I'm trying to go sleep. The game over with. I'd hit all my parlays or whatever. I'd made my money bed wise. In this shit, so I go to bed. I'm just saying.
You know what? You know what, Ham, though? You know who the difference maker of this series is, right?
What's that?
It's Jimmy Butler.
Oh, of course.
Jimmy Butler is the X factor of this. Dylan Brooks say something stupid one more time, and then next thing you know, 23-0 come, Dylan Brooks need to be traded again.
Every time he say something to Jimmy Butler.
Every time he say something stupid to a player, they snap off on him.
And they bust his ass too.
And they be giving him the business.
That's why I expect Golden State to close it on Friday.
They got to close it. It is a must that Golden State plays 48 minutes of good basketball. Not the tomfoolery, but of good basketball.
Now, I don't want to talk too much about Oklahoma and Memphis, but I'm gonna let Ham do that on his radio show Friday, Sports 56, 98.5.
We ain't talking about the grid. We ain't talking about the grid no more, man. We like, man, the hell with them cats, man. I do have
if you finna go where we finna think we going.
This is what I'm gonna say about the Grizzlies. This is my thing with the Grizzlies. And I'm gonna just what has been proven now with the Grizzlies for the last 3 years. sometimes it's not bad luck. This is who you are as a player.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point in the game, what the Grizzlies going to have to figure out, and I know Jaren Jackson Jr. got big money coming in 2026, and I am never one for the whole break the team. I'm not here for that conversation. What I am here to tell Memphis is this. Somewhere between Ja and Jaren Jackson, there's a piece in the middle that's missing. I don't think Jaren Jackson is the second best player on the title. I think he's the third. Desmond Bain, I don't believe is the third best player on the title contender. I believe he's the fourth. What Memphis got to figure out this offseason, Jalen Wells, G.G. Jackson. Have you seen enough out of those two? And I know Jalen Wells' season got cut short. G.G. Jackson has gotten cut short. Is one of those two either can push Jaren Jackson back to two, Bain back to the third, and they step in as the fourth player? Or do you find somebody who is in the number two spot? I think they got to find somebody who's the number two because health, that's real.
Mm-hmm.
Maturity, that's real.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
Mhm.
Memphis is about one more season before you have to make tough calls on that roster. They got about a year. Jahan, I know you said you ain't talking about him. That's just my synopsis of what's happening with Memphis.
After Ham, I got a
I,
couple things.
I make mine real quick. I'm not necessarily gonna go on what they need going forward because it's like when we talk about window, you have to understand not just when your window is open, but what you have in that opportunity and time. If you're not going to bring back certain pieces that helped you when you were at your best, you cannot miss on replacing.
Yeah.
They missed on a few. You know what I'm saying? And it's easy to be critical of that, but as a student of this game, but just looking at it from a historical standpoint, this shit happens about 75, 80%, if not more, across the league. Especially when you're in the market size or not, but even especially with smaller markets because it's a less attractive thing. You know what I'm saying? There's less resources, the whole deal, unless you have some form of connection where it works. But it's that situation where we're in a unique situation where he may not be a generational talent in some people's eyes across the board league wide. He's generational for this city, right?
Mm.
And MJ talked about it. We was on 98.5 FM, 11 to 1 on Monday through Friday with the Home John Radio. Um, he spoke on, he's like, what happened last night? Because that's the night that they blew the 29-point lead. What happened last night is the reason why you have a job. That's your guy. Because once you went down, you saw the comeback. It's another case and then double. And it put the hush to the Grizzlies. They might be better without y'all. Really, really, motherfucker. Come on, man. No, see, and it's that element of people are going to be critical of it, but it's kind of really commonplace to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I'm not getting upset about it or bent out of shape about it. It's more of a study. It's a case study. I said this 6 years ago when they restarted this whole thing. Zach Kleiner took over as the GM and all that. I'm like, it's gonna be a case study for me because I'm gonna see how they run it. I'm gonna see how they construct it, how they build it, how they maneuver with it. They've done some good things, but then we got to that point where they got to here, but they couldn't get over to that next tier. And heads to go roll. It was a philosophy difference. I think it was some personnel differences that people wanted in terms of who's playing here, there, whatnot. Just common stuff that you really don't hear about on the surface unless you just got, inside plug. But like you said, Big Shot, it's about a year or so away, just for what it is. And I'm like this, if y'all trade 12 and y'all move on for 12, I might well go there and pack up and go elsewhere. Because you know what I'm saying? It's like you don't you don't pull a Nico in this situation. It
Oh, we're
does
gonna get
not.
to Nico very soon.
No, I know it's coming.
It's coming. Jay,
But go
Germ,
ahead,
we're gonna
Steve.
go
I ain't
Germany
giving you so
Trav.
much though.
So I'm gonna propose two different things, right? First thing, Big Shot, you said something in the middle. What if Ja needs an equal or a player better than him? What if small guards have a hard time winning in this league unless they are Steph Curry, being alpha dogs on teams? That's not a knock to say Ja's not good. That never came out of my
It's just
mouth.
historically it don't
This
work.
is a historical context.
Historically, it's Steph Curry and Isaiah Thomas, and that's it.
So we're talking about without winning, without a big forward or a two guard in the conversation. That is the big piece that's missing with them because Baines is your 3 and D guy, right? We've turned every wing player that's played with these elite point guards into 3 and D guys.
Right.
Klay Thompson just happened to be elevated because he was a great 3-point shooter. He happened to be a really, really good defender, and he had other facets to his game. See, that's something that Memphis has to figure out. Is it going to be an equal, or is it going to be he's the second best player on the team? Now, just to say this about Triple J. Triple J, I do agree with you, is probably better as a third option, but I think Triple J needs to be more in a Draymond type of a role, meaning everything is complimentary. The 15 points you get from him, I didn't book you for 15. I booked you for 5. But what I did book you for was these 3 steals, these three blocks, and these 15 rebounds. We need to straight Dennis Rodman him out, and we need to make sure that we go straight. This is about defense. This is about cleaning the glass and making sure that we do the small things. And the second thing I'll say is the only other thing that Memphis can do in this situation is kind of what Ham said, which I think is really interesting that they didn't bring back guys like Tyrus and people like that who are excellent running second units when Ja and Triple J go to the bench, or could run with Triple J and Ja on the bench. The best way to have a playoff team constructed is to have a solid starting lineup, which Memphis does have a solid 5. But after that, you put 7 to 8. I was about to get on that Ham type of time. 7 to 8 people behind them that come off their bench, and you have one of the top 5 or 6 benches in the league that give you 40, 50 points a night from a solid rotation. That is the other facet to this that I think would help Memphis. Because if you extend your rotation out, that helps with the 2 players that historically, and we're just talking about what they've done, it helps them because they're struggling to stay on the floor. We need to cut a couple of these minutes on them so we can try to keep them for the playoff series.
Trav.
You want to know what's the best thing for Memphis to do to be better? Move them to Seattle. Move them. Flat out move them. Because the fans don't love them. They ain't gonna miss them until they gone. They ain't gonna miss them until they gone.
You live too close, Trav. Don't have these people come looking for you, man. No, don't do this.
Hey,
listen,
man,
I can't defend
That was
I'm
this,
interesting.
Trav.
That man come on here and cut a promo. Get
I'm
him out of
dead
here.
serious. Here's the thing. In all seriousness, though, the fans don't appreciate nothing until it's gone. Jordan done what he done. But y'all want to trade y'all? You really want to trade your franchise player? You stupid dummies. No, you do that, you're done. You're done. You might as well move to Seattle. You might as well move. You move, Johnny, move to Seattle. Move
Hey,
that whole
he's a
team.
Heyman guy.
Right though.
He's a
Move
Heyman
that
guy.
He's
whole
right.
team. You trade John Morant, move that whole team. You are done. You are in rebuilding mode. You're not gonna find nobody dynamic as John Morant. Baines and Triple J's are extras. They're just extras at this point. At this point, I understand Big Shot, and they can use that one nice free agent that can complement them. Their health is one serious problem, though. Their health is very serious.
Right.
I'm talking about Brandon. Brandon been hurt, and they've been looking forward for him to play that 5 spot for a nice little minute to keep Jaren Jackson at this 4 spot that Jaren Jackson most desperately need to be in. That's why you have to play Edie as much as you do, because Triple J plays better at the 4th spot. But once again, these people in Memphis that they call fans want to do addition by subtraction. Yeah, you want to get rid of them, but then what's the answer to replace it?
Yeah.
Move the whole team. Move the whole team and see what happens. You ain't got to worry about it no more. You'll figure it out.
Travis, not only
I just
that,
want
though,
to add this.
there's never going to be a solution because they don't understand the problem.
That's the whole point, John. They don't understand the problem.
So with them not understanding the problem, we're not going to get a feasible solution because we don't know what the problem is. The problem is health. What do we talk about every year? Attrition, and
hell,
the best players
Yeah.
are what win the series. If your best players ain't on the floor because of attrition, you ain't gonna win the damn series. 1 + 1 + 1 made 3.
Jimmy.
And this is like a public service announcement. I'm glad that Trav do this. Stay the fuck off Twitter. Cause that's the type of shit that you see on Twitter. And I'm glad he addressed it because, and it's funny too because he addressed it and you can feel his annoyance in it. And it ain't even his team.
I need my team, man. It's not my team. It's not
It
my
ain't
team.
even his team.
Just move them. Move them folks to Seattle and watch how these folks cut up. Man, I used to go down to the pyramid. Is that what you're gonna see on news? Man, I used to go and see them at the pyramid. I used to see them when they first went to the South Coliseum. I was there when they first opened the FedEx Forum. Now they gone. Now what you gonna do?
When this video goes up and we tag everybody who was on the show tonight, Memphis Grizzlies fan, direct your anger at Travis Milan. It's not me. It's not Ham. It's not Jern. It's Travis Milan. It's him. It's him, not me. Wasn't me, man. I want to be able to one day go to Beale Street and get barbecue nachos. I don't want to not be. I don't want to be banned from the city. I would like to go there one day.
I mean, I got to defend my brother because he's 100% right. But that's why I was like, man, don't do that. You live too close to these people, man. You
Right.
know what it is.
Now, we go to, first of all, Sacre Bleu. Oui. Monsieur, Mr. Gobert. Let me tell you. So these late night games on the East Coast be killing me. So I was kind of half asleep and I saw the group chat with the commentary. So I rolled over about 6 in the morning, because I didn't see any of the game. I scroll up to the group chat as I do, check to see what the fellas been talking about. And I see 27 and 24. Who had 27 and 24? Rudolph, Aloysius, Jacques, Francois Gobert. Minnesota 4, Lakers 1. I will be honest. I knew there were matchup problems for the Lakers, but not that big a matchup problem. Shout out to two people that we're gonna get into it. shout out to, before we get to kind of the main character syndrome, we're gonna talk about Ant. I want to give two guys though on Minnesota a lot of credit.
Talk about it.
Jalen McDaniel, number one. Number one. And number two, Julius Ebenezer Randle.
Mr. Black Hole Son himself.
Julius, it was a controversial trade. I didn't really like it that much, but I tell you what, he absolutely bullied the Lakers front line. That includes LeBron for 5 games. And what I loved about Julius's game, and this is something I've said about Julius since he got in the league, when he doesn't settle, when he don't settle for the perimeter shot, and he gets that ball and just takes it at the basket. At 6'8", 260, left-handed, there's not a lot you can do. In this series, he did that. And the other thing he did hand that I love, and the one thing that's also kind of been a criticism of Julius Randle is, does he compete on the defensive end? He absolutely competed on the defensive end. He boarded like he boarded. It's everything Knicks fans probably were like, this is the dude. This is the dude. This is what we wanted for years.
I mean,
So shout out to Julius. Shout out to Jaden McDaniel. I thought Jaden McDaniel, you're only going to be able to do so much with Luka. I thought Jaden McDaniel played him well. Luka will be Luka. Luka will get his. LeBron will get his. But he held his own against both of them. So I'm going to start out with those two, and then we're going to talk about the main character. But Ham, go ahead.
the Julius Randle deal, like you said, it's that motivation from the trade itself. You know what I'm saying? And also, remember, he was drafted in the Lakers. You look at it just in this terms of this series, too. So it's kind of like, going back to that. And then just that opportunity to do what they did. They knocked off the squad that was led by 2 all-time greats. And that's pretty much where it stopped because there was no significant impact from the guys, from the other teams. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a whole lot of frustration from that trade that was made. What was that date on that trade? Like February 9th or something like that, whatever it was.
Right around there. Yeah.
It's a lot of residue that's left. A lot of the carnage and whatnot that we saw. Neither one of those situations even made it to Mother's Day, the Dallas deal or the Lakers deal, for that matter. So, and it really don't look that damn promising going forward to me for either side. That's just
is the Lakers, you get Luka, you get LeBron, but what you are seeing is that LeBron is 40 is still 40.
Yeah.
40 is still 40. And JJ made a tactical error when he played the starting 5 that whole second half.
The game 5.
You can't do that.
Game 4.
In game 4, you can't. I get it. You're down 2-1. A little bit of desperation kicks in. You can't do that. Can't do it. Not with LeBron at 40. I know you don't trust the bench. I get it. You got to go to that bench. If for nothing more than for rest purposes. So I think JJ, as a young coach, learned a lesson. And now for the Lakers.
On purpose.
And for the Lakers,
on purpose.
And for the Lakers now, Channing Frye told y'all the super team thing was dead.
Yeah.
How you build the rest of this roster when there are 2 guys making $100 million on a salary cap that ain't but about 150, 160. It's, I get the trade. I get it. The trade was not wrong on his face. But building the rest of that roster is going to be tough. With two
This is why
guys
I think
have that much salary. It's going to be harder than people think.
this is why I think JJ did that shit on purpose.
I think I know where you about to go. I think you know where. If you about to say it,
What you it's like what y'all leave me with?
there you
okay,
go.
we got Luke. But
So now
what
you
y'all
got
leave me with?
yes. So now you got so you left me with this. I'm gonna show you. You left me with this. Now you see what you got to invest in.
Yeah.
Also take it, and I usually don't do this, but take it to the account of what LeBron's post game comment was. No comment.
I
Last
ain't
guy
gonna
that
say
said
nothing.
what he needed, he ain't here no more.
You know what JJ
Internal
did?
struggle.
You know what JJ did? Y'all remember Kobe 2006 Game 7 where Kobe said, you know
Yep.
what, the second half, I'm not going to shoot.
I'm not shooting nothing.
That's why I'm saying. I'm like, he did that shit on purpose.
JJ pulled the
And I ain't
coach's
just think
version of
that.
that.
I ain't just think that last night. I thought that Sunday in Game 4.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Like he did that shit on
That
purpose,
man
man.
got man.
I'm
That
sitting there
man.
watching. I'm like, oh, and they kept mentioning, they kept showing the graph, for the minutes, and LeBron was always at the top.
Top of
And
minutes
then
play.
of course, I got money on the whole deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing a little. I'm hoping for Luka to get the triple double, and the whole Luka got one damn rebound. You know?
So
You know what?
here,
You know.
Okay,
Before you
go,
go,
Jerm Trav.
so Trav, not
go
to
ahead.
cut you off. I'm sorry, brother.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But here's what I seen from that, right? I seen one team that was younger, hungrier, more conditioned, and the other team was older, slower, and for lack of better terms, fatter. For Luca, it's the same critique for Luca every year around in this time. That doesn't mean he's not an all-time great player. We all got him on the top 75. Luka Doncic. I gotta talk like Hollow the Don, Trav. Listen, Luka Doncic is effing incredible as a basketball player. He's a basketball savant. What he did, what he does on the floor is second to not very many in history of this game. However, he got his ass whipped the old school way. Somebody picking you up 94 feet, wearing you down. Now you also, Jaden attacked you this year. Last year, Jaden didn't attack him.
Yep.
This year, they attacked you. So this year, we seen Luka and LeBron got the same issue. Make them folks guard somebody.
Yeah. LeBron doesn't guard the perimeter like he used to. Luka never did.
So you get two dudes in the same position, doing the same stuff, playing the same way against a team that's here. We got DiVincenzo going to attack the rim. Whether LeBron blocked the shot or not, he's still going to attack. Ain't going to attack. They just kept attacking them, and that was the difference in the game. So shout out to y'all white Jesus Laker fans, which is Austin Reeves, who had an incredible season. Don't get me wrong, because Big Shot, what did we do? We did like this. Austin Reeves
I did
played better
like
than
this, but
he played.
what you also saw with Austin Reeves,
Physicality changes a lot, doesn't it?
physicality changes a lot. But also, it's all fun and games until you hire on the scouting report.
Mm-hmm. Were you that third player on that board?
You the third man, and you are, and we only studying you. You not the third game in 4 nights. You not the 5th game on the road trip. We watching you and only you.
For at least four games. For at least 4 games.
He averaged 16 in the series, but it was low calorie 16. It was a vegan 16.
First,
It was a gentleman's sweep on the end of a gentleman's sweep 16.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Hey,
a
it was
Yeah.
hot garbage 16.
it was it
First
was it
thing,
was it was a keto diet, low protein 16.
first thing first. We're not going to sit right here and say this Minnesota Timberwolves team is not equipped and experienced enough to whoop them folks' tail because they actually were last year in the damn East Western Conference Finals. So we're not going to
Yeah.
take it away. They know how to win. They know how to win
Yeah,
basketball
they
games.
know how to do it.
Yeah.
They know
Even
how to
when you
do it.
got Julius Randle, he still know how to play playoff basketball. First and foremost. Second, a lot of y'all folks don't know how to do y'all parlays, man. Quit betting this shit on the freaking Lakers, man. That's why y'all parlays don't hit.
Hey, speaking of Minnesota, the main character, as Ric Flair used to say, Ham, the name on the marquee,
Name on the marquee.
Talk about it.
Anthony Edwards. He's had more spectacular series. I've seen him have more spectacular games. But shout out to my man Mo Schefter. He liked this phrase. Basketball maturity.
He figured it out. He figured it out.
Basketball maturity. I make every play. I contest on defense. The three-point shooting was a little sideways in game 5, but for most of the series, he didn't settle. He didn't take crazy shots. It wasn't comic book ball, as Jay Ham calls it. It wasn't hero ball. It was a mature performance. And that is, if he's going to play mature, then we have reached the next level of Ant Edwards, where it doesn't have to be spectacular all the time, and it's a little more even. If we get that more often, this is where you become the star, not for posterizing people and all that. When you are consistently great, and your game is more evened out, and his game was really even. I loved how he played the series, even on nights that he didn't shoot it well.
And he didn't shoot it well last night. He did not. He
He
was
didn't
0 for
shoot it
10
well
for
last
3.
night, but pressure on the rim, not turning the ball over,
Right.
playing defense.
Make your free throw.
I loved it. Again, not his most spectacular of games, but I think it's the best series I've seen him play.
Big shot. You can be taught how to play defense. You actually can be taught how to play defense. But within being taught, you gotta want to.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta want to, and you gotta have it right here. And have it right here to be to the point to where I don't want my man to score. I don't want my man to get to this spot. I'm gonna contest this shot. If he's right hand, I'm contesting everything left hand. If he's left hand, I'm contesting everything right hand.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make him go to his strong hand. So when I cut him off, he goes back to his weak hand. See, a lot of people don't think that way. But Minnesota thought that way. And the Lakers did not think that way. That's why you have number 77, a big ass cone out there. I ain't never seen a person that can put up 30 and they thought they was putting them on the weakest link on the team. And guess what happened? He got clapped. They doubled him to get the ball out of his hand, and the person that he was guarding put up 27 to 24.
They, and I say this all the time, and then Jeremy, I saw your hand up. He don't have to be Scottie Pippen, but you can't be a liability either. And too many times, he's a liability. Like, he's somebody, and then Jerm, unmute yourself and just jump in. He's somebody, if he wasn't such a spectacular offensive player, you could almost make him unplayable. Because it's that bad.
It's bad.
It's that bad. And he can't, but this, if he continues to be this way, because he had played so many minutes, he has such a heavy offensive responsibility. Like Trav said, you got a cone playing 40 minutes a night. 40 minutes a night. He out there. And as long as he gonna be out there,
that's what you're gonna say.
As the old cartoons say, Ham probably remember this cartoon. Food around the corner. Food around the corner. Food around the corner for me.
Hey yo. Hey yo. Big Shot, you gotta chill, man. You can't be doing that. Hey, Ham, they the other part of the Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins faction, huh? These two right here.
Right.
So look, you know something. I'm gonna say this to y'all, man. I think y'all might appreciate this too, just from watching. It's funny how being a threat at the 3-point line opens up so much more to your game.
Mm-hmm.
And Ant Edwards improved his 3-point shooting over the last 10 months tremendously.
Yeah.
And now the court opened up for him in another capacity. So now not only that, he can drive because you have to respect the three. Before, I could sit on your move. I could sit on this move here because I'm not worried about you knocking down that three at 35%. It's funny how shooting 35% from three will turn you into an even more prominent threat on the court.
Right.
So with those things being said too, it's funny how playing defense and having that dog in them, it's funny how that in itself, you can see the contrast of night and day of him and Luka.
Yep.
Ant has that it factor where I want to beat you. Luka is, I'm just having fun. I'm just happy to be here to play ball.
Jern,
And
go ahead.
And here's where the two are different, but where I think we are starting to see the ascension of Ant. Ant is still building, right? But I think Luka has hit his ceiling. I think this is the classic thing where Luka has hit his ceiling. So if Luka is going to win a title, it's going to have to be a really deep conversation that you have in your front office of finding the right athletes, the right players around him, or Luka got to be the second or third best player on the team, and he got to be the offense off the bench that plays into the system.
He's got
or whatever
to.
it is you do.
He cannot. I thought the whole conversation around him leaving Dallas was a little too much. But I will say this. He got to get in shape. Got to. Because now he plays too many minutes. The responsibility is too heavy to be out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get the calf injury over and over again. Mm-hmm. That's how you get the back issue. That's how you get the leg problem. Even if he's still a cone on defense, which I don't think he can be, you got to at least be able to get in somebody's way.
It's the want to, man. It's the want to.
And you watch them games. You talk about Jern, the switches come out. Jaden McDaniel will never be confused for Grant Hill off the dribble. But when they made the switch and he got Luka one-on-one, he looked like Grant Hill. He like Grant Hill. 1-2, straight line drive. Mm-hmm. 1-2, driving to the bay. Like, you just keep Luka got us this side. I wouldn't have traded him. But Luca, that conditioning thing is a real thing now.
So
That's not a small thing. We watched it 3 years in a row where you could say, to Jern's point, where you could say, why did we lose this series? Top three reasons. Your defense.
Mm-hmm.
Your defense is costing us series 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. We watched it against Boston last year, where Boston said we would just find you in the pick and roll every time down the floor, and it don't matter who get it. You could switch the pick and roll, and Drew Holiday can get it. Drew taken. Jaden McDaniel taken. Mike Conley is 65 years old. If the switch comes and Luka ends up on Mike Conley, Mike take him to get to that right hand floater. He gotta make a choice. What you want to do?
Luka.
and this too, Big Shot. This the other part of this that I think is really interesting. We are spectators that, we got a little bit more credentials. Some of us, the spectators. But if you see that he's a liability like that, you have to run smaller, and he has to be able to at least be in the paint and guard a bigger player then.
Yep, that's a good call. He got to play.
Because
He got
that
to play.
means
He got to
he
play
has to
power
play
forward
forward.
on. He got to play power forward on defense.
But you know what's the problem? You know what Minnesota did so well? What they did was they put him on Rudy. So guess what happened? Rudy said high screen and roll. Okay, I want to put him on Mike Conley. Okay, Mike Conley said the high screen and roll. They could not hide him. They
Listen.
exposed him to the folks that don't know him.
If Jay Ham was playing for the Timberwolves and Luka was guarding Jay Ham would have set the screen.
Say we said in the
I'd
screen.
have-
We can
I'd
go
have
out there and set the screen.
19-5. I'd have gave Luka 19-5 in 12 minutes.
And then you would have.
Hey, yo.
You know what? See, people like Luca, I got a phone number for him. Area code 312 blank 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 1. Call my guy MJ, man. We gonna set you up a defensive package with Ball U Academy. We got you covered, man. Luca, we got you.
And
My-
then
got you.
We gotta put Luka on the same diet that we put Joel on. Silence and suicide.
Ooh, what?
and yeah, Styles and Suicides, man. We talked about it with Joel. Same thing.
Same
and now
thing.
we gotta give credit. What's the saying? Let the apologies be as loud as the
Loud as the-
disrespect.
Yes, sir.
Rudy, I tell you what, that is all we have. Not the 27 and 24.
That's all we wanted, the effort.
All we've asked you is set the screen, roll to the basket hard, throw your hand up, the ball's coming.
Boom.
Rudy can do that forever.
But
Rudy can average 18 a night just doing that. We ain't got to call post up. We ain't got to call nothing for you. Show yourself, run to the rim.
and you could be the
Credit to
richest, and you could be the richest dude with COVID.
Man, shout out to him.
All right. See, this is insane. He called him big COVID. He called him so many different things. It's just so much disrespect on this channel for him.
But you
Give
know
him
what
a
he-
little bit of love.
But you know what he done? Last night he catch the ball in traffic, finish
He's
it.
been saying that for so long. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. He became 7 foot whatever.
He played to his size
He
last night.
played
He played to
like
his
a
size.
7-foot ball player.
You 7'2", the tallest man on the court for the Lakers is 6'8". Nobody can do when you put that ball up here, nobody's gonna block it.
He used his genetic lottery to an advantage last night.
There it is. Game's simple. The game is simple.
That's
Shout
the
out-
point right there, y'all. If the game is so simple, how are we able to diagnose and figure it out? But the people who are paid to don't always do that. And that'd be my issue. But we gonna save that big shot because I know you was gonna put me Charm, go back in the corner. I'm going. I'm sorry.
No, because we gonna wrap this up because we've been here. You know how we do. I thought we was gonna be here on 45. Now it's an hour and 15. But you know we have fun.
Yeah,
But that's
we are. We are. We gonna do what we do.
we gonna do what we do. But shout out to him, man. You know, as Ham talked about it, as Ham has said, man, y'all just can't be slandering people all the time. Rudy, listen, you throw up a 27-24 on the closeout? Hey. Hey.
Ball of the night.
Ball of the night. Ball of the night. Play to your size. Loved it.
I got one more announcement too, man. Got confirmed that on Tuesdays now on 98.5. At some point, I'm not sure which time block. You gotta let us know what time block. But my man Jerm So True is gonna be on the half hour with Johnny Radio every Tuesday now. So we out here. We got MJ coming. We got Moshe Shepard coming on in there 11:30 hour. He's gonna be talking football pretty much. That's his spot now. MJ is gonna be at 12 noon at least through the rest of the NBA playoffs, and then we'll bring MJ back. Just drop them gems like we do. Trav, Big Shot, whenever y'all got time, y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come together that way. Like Big Shot said, we have a presence. You know what I'm saying? We pretty much was like we like Ohio Battle Wrestling when they finally got linked up with WWE. You know what I'm saying? We made it to the show.
Listen.
We got called up. So we out here.
First of all, man, shout out to you, number one, for making that connection for us. So, none of this happens without your work.
We'll do that story a whole nother time.
It ain't even about the story, but I think it has to be acknowledged that you did something for us. You did something for us you didn't have to do. You are under no obligation for that.
It happened for me. Like somebody did something that didn't have to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just connected and talked. Like, shout out to the homie man the same. You know what I'm saying? Without it the same, I don't get to know who John Hart is. I don't even get to know John Hart.
Yeah.
John Hart didn't know ever since. We just keep growing. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, he cussed us out the other day. So we were hanging out at Wing Fest. He like, you motherfuckers ain't even invite me.
You know what? Hey, you said that was Sane said that? Hey, tell Sane.
You know,
hey,
but it's just that
we do need to get Sane on. Tell the next time you talk to Sane, get his calendar. Get his calendar.
Not just that. We gonna get that, but he talked about if y'all don't know, he referred to us as the Wu-Tang Basketball Podcast. Because we we come to 5-6 of us at sometimes, especially when we got German, Les, Mo Otter, MJ here. We got a 6-man rotation this spot. Who can do that?
Yeah,
Who else doing that podcast land? Gil's Arena ain't even got 6. They keep 4 or 5 up there. But,
listen, we gonna get Sane on this. We definitely gonna get Sane on the show. Shout out Johnny Radio. Shout out to the whole FM 98.5 crew in Memphis, man. Like, giving opportunities to Ham and then Ham taking it and running with it. It's one thing to get the opportunity, but now once you get the opportunity, you gotta do something with it. And Ham has bust on the scene. Ham is like Ty Jerome, man. You know what I'm saying?
I take it to Ty Jerome. Shout out to Ty Jerome. We was plus 88 in that first round series. That's the highest plus minus from a bench player ever since they started taking stats.
That's you. You come off the bench. They give you the spot. You high plus minus on the show. So listen, it makes sense.
Hey man,
Jay Jerome. We got to give you another nickname in the group chat. Jay Jerome.
I had to show that I got a crew that can do this too. It's like a beautiful thing because as soon as Mo get off the line, I like that motherfucker, man. As soon as MJ get out the line last week, I like that motherfucker. John the week before, I like that motherfucker, man. I got to have them regularly. That's that. You know what I'm saying? Say less. We here.
We just do our thing. So look, we're gonna get up out of here. 94 Feel Like Basketball for the people, by the people. Subscribe to the Facebook group. Definitely subscribe to the YouTube. We will probably be back in about 2 weeks. We should be about halfway into the conference semi or somewhat to the end of it in about 2 weeks. We'll be back for another review. Basketball for the people, by the
And
people.
one more thing, y'all. Tomorrow night,
Plug
8
it.
Eastern, Views from the 22, live on the scene, draft grades, draft talk. We're gonna clear up some things. We're gonna have everything put together for you. A nice little compact like a disc, 60 minutes for you. It'll be the original crew together. If anybody here want to join, we will be ready. Any questions?
I
Bring
might
them.
pull up. I might pull up.
8 o'clock Eastern Friday. Yeah, I might have to drop in and see what they talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, we'll catch y'all tomorrow. As always, appreciate y'all.
Signing out.